Alright guys, we are starting things off with a really exciting match. This is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. I was told that this was going to be MMA versus Soulkey, but I don't think that's actually the case, as MMA plays neither of those races.
Well, maybe MMA wants to switch things up a little bit. Now, we're going to find out very, very soon.
Yeah, missed race pick. Look at this.
Oh, we
very
are
clearly
so ready,
actually doing
we?
it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Good?
I'm ready, man.
Man, I have my ice cream in front of me. I have the StarCraft on the screen. This is awesome.
I got a water, but that's all I need. So we were just gonna have a regame. Obviously, MMA accidentally picked Protoss, so that was a mistake.
Can we shut those Koreans up for now? That would be so nice. I mean, I like the guys, don't get me wrong, but it's just like really confusing to hear Korean in your ear.
Yeah, it can be confusing.
Yeah, and now we're here.
There he is.
MMA, and
he's
like, nah, I'm Terran. I want to go back to my race.
This is the biggest mistake of his WCS career, man. There's Soulkey. He's like, well, I guess. I guess I'm just gonna have to have a regame. He was like, I split my drone so well, and now I gotta go again.
I have to admit, I'm not a Brood War player, so I have to ask these questions. Is he sulking, or does he have the key to my soul?
He has the key to your soul, man.
Okay, so he's not sulking.
And no, he's not sulking. But
okay, great.
If he loses, he may in fact be sulking.
Yeah, maybe a tiny little bit.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
Okay.
So, you know. Actually,
Wolf, seriously, it's getting hot.
It is getting hot, man.
I don't want to take my shirt off right now, but it's like, wow, this room is... Ooh. Okay, here we go, guys, and we are on Atlantis. No, we are not on Atlantis spaceship. No, this is Antigua Shipyard. And to the left side of the map, we have the Slayers player. This is MMA.
And on the right side of things, our Caspa player. His ID is Soulkey. And, you know, this is the first time that we are ever going to see this. And Soulkey is on the team Ungden Stars right now. Team that has moved on to StarCraft 2. There was some debate as to whether or not Ungden was going to move into StarCraft 2 or not. I heard, but they decided to. And they kept up with everybody else. I heard from some people that they were thinking of not doing the dual tournament. But then they, of course, that was when the dual tournament wasn't fully announced, and there were just rumors going around, and they weren't sure what the future was going to be, but they switched, and they have kept up. They did decently in Pro League recently.
And I have to say that basically what kind of other choice do you have?
Yeah.
There is nothing you can do about it. StarCraft Brood War is going to be replaced by StarCraft 2 in Korea. This is just how is it going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as soon as that finals is over, man. As soon as that finals is over, Pro League Brood War will be really over. It's kind of like when the Star Wars trilogy was recompleted. A lot of people didn't like the new movies, but then like whether you like them or not, man, once Episode 3 was over, you knew it was over. Same with Harry Potter, for example. But Brood War to me is more important than all of these things. But I'm happy with StarCraft 2. I'm not too sad about it.
This is actually the first time in since his Code A matches that we've seen MMA play. We didn't play in the GSTL. We didn't see him yesterday when Slayers edged out this win over their opponents when they defeated GSL. So let's see how MMA is doing here. He's playing against a former Brood War player, and this is definitely going to be an exciting match. Not only because we have Casper versus GSL players, no, we have Zerg versus Terran, and it's on Antigua Shipyard. Therefore, a map that is in favor of Terran. And how is Soulkey going to approach this game?
That is going to be the question. I mean, obviously most Brood War pro gamers who have switched over have adapted the style of the current StarCraft 2 players. They didn't just start from scratch and learn their own way.
Can you tell me a little bit about Soulkey? Me as a non-Brood War player, I have to admit that I don't know too much about him.
Well, you know, Soulkey was not one of my favorite players to ever play, but he was quite known. He's about 20 years old. He's always been on Woongjin as far as I know. And there's some notable Brood War matches he played. I can't think of anyone right now. I know that there was a really famous game that he played. I think it was about 2 years ago. A lot of people really like this guy because he's kind of got this face that I mean, I actually have a picture of him open on my second monitor right now. You can just see his face. Like, he's got this grin on his face always. I don't know how to explain it, man. I'm not the biggest Soulkey fan, so I can't give you a lot of back history, but a lot of people do like him, and I'm sure there's like people going crazy in the live report thread right now watching him play against MMA.
Alright, so his outstanding feature is a beautiful smile.
He does. He's got a beautiful smile, man. That's what I'll tell you about Soulkey.
Well, currently he's going for gas. He takes the gas a little bit later, of course. He's relying on a queen so far. Well, guys, the one thing that is important to know as well is that we are currently not live in the game, so we have our restream here that we are commentating. In the next set, we will be able to join the game itself, and therefore have all the information that we can only look up on our second monitor. And we have a little bit of a forward bunker here by MMA. He tries to be aggressive.
This is a strange bunker, too. It's at the bottom of the ramp.
Do you think this is one of the strategies to go for when you play against one of the Casper players? You know that they don't have the experience that you have. Do you think applying pressure early and trying to break them as soon as possible is the thing to go for?
Well, yeah. Well, especially something like this can be, because what he's doing here, this is actually just... He's trying to force Lings, right? And so he may just make... He's like, all right, well, how many Lings do I need to kill 4 Marines? That's what I got to make here. But then when there's a bunker to fall back to, he can just jump right into that bunker, and then it's going to take a lot more than 4 to 8 Lings to kill those Marines. Well, of course, 4 Lings versus 4 Marines is never going to work, but even 8, for example, may not be enough. Oh, you got to be careful about taking some damage on those Queens, losing one of those Marines, but this essentially makes it so he can't take his 3rd if he wanted to. He's getting a Roach Warren right now, though. And this is something actually I've seen a lot of Brood War Zergs who switch over to StarCraft 2 do, is they love to put that Roach aggression on against Terrans. I've seen a lot of Terrans fall to this.
On the other hand, MMA now already with the first tanks in the game, and Roaches usually don't do all that well against tanks, especially when they are protected by a few Marines in this high DPS. Speed is about to be done for Soulkey. We have 37 to 33 drones now. The Zerg player only slightly ahead of his opponent. His economy is not looking too great here.
Yeah,
he's actually on a really low economy at this point.
He's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna Painling us now. And look at this, man. Look how many Lings he will kill. Well, he's actually... Did he target the Queen? Yeah, he was targeting the Queen, so not going to kill as much as he wanted to there. But the Ling speed has been shown, and he knows how many Lings are out, so he's going to be careful. Look at the siege mode timing, though. It's very fast, so he should be able to defend this.
Well, the more pressing question is, this is just a Roach and Baneling attack. We saw the Harvester count with 37, so he's really low on this. The question is, will Siege be ready? And if the Siege mode is done by the time that the Roaches arrive, this attack will be shut down immediately.
You know, I don't think it's going to be done if he goes as soon as those Banelings and Roaches are there. If the Roaches come right at this moment, it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think, though, if he hesitates even for a second, it will finish. This is going to be super close. And there are 2 tanks on the high ground. Okay, so he's not waiting. He's going with his Banelings first, but these 2 tanks on the high ground are going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they will. He needs to lift this command center. Yes, there we go. Tries to save those SCVs.
Pretty good splitting, but he's going to lose so many. But in the end...
The problem that he has right now, he lost a lot of these... Okay, the problem with the execution of Soulkey is that he might have killed a lot of Harvesters here, but Harvesters are not the thing that you want to target down with your Banelings. The Banelings have to kill the wall. If the Banelings kill the wall, then the Roaches can get in. The 3 Roaches can one-shot an SCV, and with the split and MMA executed, he made sure that a lot of those Banelings died to only a very, very little number of SCVs. Yep. And a very small number of SCVs, and therefore great defense by MMA, and Soulkey did not execute this as well as he could have.
Yeah, it's certainly right in this 4 Marine drop. 5 Marines, in fact. Just recently, Wolf been having trouble counting. We'll take out a few of these drones. And this is the kind of frustrating thing that you're going to have to face when you hit a timing like this if your opponent goes for faster medevac. Another pressing issue right now, as he does save all those Marines, is that he has a 3rd command center. So with a 3rd command center, he can triple make SCVs. That means he can get that SCV count back up to where it needs to be, plus the mules. He's going to feel fine with this. He's even going ahead and adding on those extra production facilities, going up to 5 barracks here.
MMA is in the best position ever to defend against this. He already has the double upgrades on the way. He has siege tanks on the high ground. There is no way that with a Ling and Baneling attack, or even Roaches, you can pressure the Terran right now. The timing is already gone, and MMA defended the first attack, and now he's able to get the 3 SCVs, as Wolf pointed out. He will have a great economy. Soulkey is following this up immediately with another hatch, but he doesn't have tech. He doesn't have any tech at all, whereas MMA is already set up, not only with the double upgrades, but he has the first few medevacs, and he's moving out now with his tank force. And, well, Stim is missing, as is Combat Shield, something that MMA did not add just yet. He's adding a few tech labs, or just added them, adding additional barracks. But this is doing damage. This can be very scary.
Yeah, this is not necessarily going to be just scary, man. This may be deadly. Look at, I mean, he's got 7 roaches and 4 banelings to his name. He's got a lot of lings out on the map, but with the medevacs here, this is going to be so difficult to deal with. Stim, however, is not done. That's one thing that's really crucial to note. Does not have Stim, and, you know, the Zerg player is getting those upgrades, but they're not ready yet.
Without Stim and Combat Shield, he will not be able to break Soulkey here. He just tries to force the creep back a little bit, and he's already really cheating. He has a 3rd base that he can take. He does not overcommit here. Killing the active creep tumors is what you want to do, and you make sure with the siege tanks that your opponent cannot attack, he cannot engage, he doesn't have the numbers. But this is a scary position for Soulkey to be in. You never want to be down in supply against a Terran player as a Zerg, especially not in Harvesters, and he's already at 50 to 50. 3 mules complete the picture for the Terran, and he has a great economy, heading straight for the +2 attack upgrade. It will probably start armor very soon as well. It's a great position for MMA to be in.
Yeah, and it's going to take a critical engagement for Soulkey to win his way back into this. He has to win an engagement because without winning one, he's not going to be able to really take risky expansion with medevacs on the map. Medevacs are on the map. There's no mutas just yet. The Spire's almost done. But, I mean, he needs more economy. He needs some advantage somewhere. I think he's going to have to win a fight to get that.
You can really see the difference here right now between GSL Zerg and Code S Zerg, even a Code A Zerg and Soulkey. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he certainly needs a little bit more experience. The creep spread at this point, just look at the creep spread. With most Zerg plays that we've seen in the last few weeks in Code S and Code A, we've had a creep spread, a sick creep spread up to the middle of the map. These run-bys are awesome. They're cute. I love them. And this might be exactly the way that he will be able to approach this matchup and maybe get a little bit ahead of his opponent. Despite for the fact that MMA is just really guarding his back and immediately shutting down any kinds of attack. But yeah, the creep spread is basically non-existent. Most Zerg players will have the creep spread already to the middle of the map at this point. And MMA has the middle of the map. He controls the map. He has the center. He has 3 bases. He can take a 4th if he wants to. And more important, he can shut any attempts of his opponent getting a 4th base down. No problem at all.
Yeah, this, I mean, with the mutas out now, he can start to help defend these drops that he was facing earlier. But look at the creep spread, like you said, is not very far. He's even starting to take some of that out. And the amount of fear that I feel Soulkey has right now for moving out on the map with smaller these forces is somewhat problematic. He is going to get this turret here, starting to be very aggressive with these mutas. He's going to take out the tank as well. This is very annoying for MMA to deal with, but he will be able to clean these up. Going to have to pull the SCVs to repair this turret. Actually, he's just going to let it go. And the Marines are here.
Exactly. Yeah. He stims in with the Marines and tries to defend here. So this is a great position. 163 supply, you control the middle of the map, you can take a 4th base if you want, you can push out. He's already adding Thors in order to counter those Mutalisks, which is very, very important. This will help him a lot. And it's a great position to be in. There is no transition to Hive or with an infestation pit for Soulkey. He's trying to make this mid-game composition work with Lings, Banelings and Mutalisks, but MMA is already way ahead of him.
Yeah, and he's been aggressive right now. With the creep spread as low as it is, he's really going to have a lot of opportunities to push through and attack that 3rd base. You're leaving just enough Marines back here, not making any turrets. And when you're as ahead as MMA is, you can just afford to leave this many army units at home. He's even got a Thor here. Oh, sick Thor shot. If he gets a 2nd one, oh, he does. The Mula's taking so many hits here, he's got to get out. Dropping those mules, yeah.
Dropping the mule hammer immediately.
Yeah, and this run-by is going to be quite annoying. It does have the potential to do a lot of damage here, as there's very few turrets and very few Marines in general here.
I like how he starts these multi-prong attacks and how he always tries to go for another run-by. But it's just not the right numbers, and the timings are sometimes a little bit off. MMA always able to defend. And Soulkey, he has 150 supply, but he doesn't have this bank that we usually see from Zerg players. He's playing it with 63 drones against 54 SCVs and the mules. So MMA in a good position here. His upgrades are already very good. I'm a little bit surprised that MMA so far did not even start his 4th though.
Yeah, this is Antigua, so he could easily just grab that center base. It's the WCS version of Antigua, so it's basically the same one that GOM uses. I'm wondering a little bit about what Soulkey is going to want to do for his Hive tech, because there's so many Marines on the map right now, 85, and there's 106 Zerglings here, so it's looking like he wants to go into that Infestor Ultralisk composition. This map is tough to use Broodlords on. But will he ever be able to get there? If MMA starts attacking, as MMA right now is kind of just patiently holding the center, if he ever starts to really attack him, he's not going to have time to get that Hive Tech up. He needs Infestors to hold these pushes that are probably coming soon.
MMA has a very, very soft and nice contain on his opponent. This is actually a great position that he has. He has units to the left, to the right, on the center. He does control everything. He's spread out a little bit thin. Ah, nice pick up with a tank. Well done here. The Mutalisks go in at the third. There's one turret that buys a bit of time for the Marines to stim in. And it's a great defense by MMA. Soulkey, he doesn't find an opening against his opponent. MMA has this contain in the middle. He makes sure that his opponent doesn't get a fourth. He takes not only MMA, that is, he doesn't take only a fourth command center, he also already takes a fifth. And here comes Soulkey. He's moving out now. He means business. He's going in. The Marines have to move back a little bit. They move into the siege tank range. Well done here. And Soulkey, I think at this point, he's getting a little bit desperate.
He is. He's trying to be really patient, does not want to lose this army. And no matter what, MMA's just got so much. He's following him here. He's got Marines, turrets, several turrets added here at the third base. And it's just 3 base against 3 base, but MMA has made 2 command centers. 3-3 is about to finish, as well as his +2 for his siege tanks, and that may be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Soulkey is on +2 upgrades. They are both on 200 supply, but MMA is already getting this bank. Soul gets a fair amount of minerals as well, but just not the bases. And losing those Mutalisks is definitely not what he wants to do.
Yeah, 3 Ghost Academies coming out for MMA here. Looks like he wants to finish things flipping. Yeah, he's really committing, but look at the setup here for MMA, an insane tank spread.
MMA way behind, way ahead in supply right now. Those Banelings doing a great job at MMA with a split. He's targeting down the Banelings, and this is just a fight that Soulkey right now cannot win. He's down to 100 supply. MMA now with the 4th base on its way. He is in a magnificent position. Moving in.
3-3 is done. He's going for it.
The Banelings.
Yeah, these Banelings will not finish morphing. GG. Taking game 1 here.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, legend. I watched all those Banelings die helplessly.
This is the legend dance, by the way.
Yes. Well,
look at you. He's going wild.
It's legend gone wild on stream here.
Oh, wow. Look at that. My hack grew back.
You know, the picture they've chosen at the back of this is actually an art that I think the guy who made it was Peter Lee. And I remember it was on Blizzard's website for a really long time. When StarCraft 2 was announced, I used that as my wallpaper. And Soulkey looking a little bit stressed out here. We don't see that Soulkey smile right now. But he's playing against not only a Golem player who has a lot of experience, he's playing against one of the players who's was considered at times to be one of the best players in the world. Now he's a Code B player.
I'm tempted to actually just synchronize the voices with the dub version. Yeah, and his Marines and his army was so big.
I actually, when they turned off the voices for a while earlier, I felt uncomfortable. I thought it was too quiet. I like having them on. Well, that game that we just saw was pretty straightforward. Went for a big attack, got shut down, lost some SCVs, but like you said, the key is you have to kill the wall. You have to get the roaches, and if you're going to go roaches and Banelings, then killing SCVs is not enough at the natural.
You don't necessarily have to get them in, as long as they are in a position where they can safely attack the supply depot. As long as there's no siege tanks, you don't have to get them in. You can just attack. The Marines will have to go in. You go for this dance situation where you can snipe the Marines, and as soon as your opponent has to use his SCVs to repair, you just snipe the repairing SCVs. But with the siege tank in the picture, it's a little bit of a different story. Do you have to break through, get the roaches in there, or at least have them on the low ground so that he can pick up the SCVs? But with the split that MMA used, he did not lose a loss of SCVs against the push, and then the roaches were completely useless, as siege mode was already done, and then we were immediately in a position where the Zerg player just lost roach after roach to the tanks on the high ground. Very well defended by MMA, and from this point on, he just played it straight up. He knew with the siege tanks, he's in a great position. His opponent didn't have tech. He moved out with tanks, Marines, just a small force, and the only thing that he wanted to achieve was just force the creep back a little bit. And this is also one of the things that Soulkey was never able to really accomplish. Having this decent creep spread that he needs in order to make sure that Soulkey doesn't get momentum and does not have the advantage.
Yeah, while you were saying all that, I wasn't able to quite hear because I was trying to set up the computer so I could jump into the second screen, but it's not going to be ready just yet. We're going to finish this best of 3, I think, before it is ready. I'm sure I want to say more things. I'm sure you pretty much covered everything. I actually think that not enough non-Terran players like Proas's and Zerg's value killing army over killing economy against the Terran, especially with the third commander coming up. Killing those SCVs meant practically nothing, because the Terran army is a scary thing to face, and it snowballs, especially with the Marines. The Marine count snowballs quite quickly, and it's more important, in my opinion, in the early game to cripple the army, because then not only, yeah, your opponent's economy is still going to be decent and you can rebuild that army, but if he has no presence on the map, Terran has to be attacking with bio, and if he has no bio presence on the map, that's when you can be expanding, that's when you can be comfortable getting your drones out and teching at the same time. Killing the Terran's economy when he's got 3 orbitals, which is something he did not necessarily know, but that's kind of what you're banking on when you do this type of attack. It almost would have been better 100% to wait for the Roaches and attack with the Roaches and the Banelings together, or even sending the Banelings up that ramp and trying to break through might have done more damage, but just killing the SCVs they did was one choice that some people would have made, but I'm not sure if it was the best one, to be perfectly honest.
I'm actually... Do you know what the second map is? We read through the maps earlier. Do you
it says Ohana on screen, but I don't know if that... I'm assuming that's going to be what this is. It was kind of cut off a little bit, so I think that's our next map is going to be Ohana. That may have been talking about something else. I believe this is Group C, and if so, then yeah, the next map is going to be Ohana. Not 100% sure yet, and they haven't started the game yet, so maybe I can get in after all. We're about to find out. Yeah, the second set is going to be on Ohana. That's what that says there.
Okay, awesome.
It says Group C, round of 16, second set, WCS Ohana.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of games today, and of course, I'm not quite sure now in which group exactly Flash is playing. We'll find this out later on. We are not at the venue, unfortunately. I would have loved to be in here, but with the setup that we have today for the production, we are at the GOM studio and we are jumping into the games from here, so we don't get all of the information firsthand. The production team is keeping us up to date, and of course we have the shots from the venue as well. As you can currently see, the Korean commentators here have the same situation. And are we able to get into the game?
I gotta... I'll just give me just a moment.
Alright, great. So Wolf is checking things out, but apparently we're starting with the next game. This is Soulkey against MMA, guys. I hope you're excited. This is going to be good. These WCS qualifiers are really, really intense here.